apparently. And we are live. So there are nobody here yet, but this is being recorded, so people can see this in the replay. Those who are signed up will be able to see the entire thing. I will, however, also download it and edit it, maybe a little bit, and put it on the Next Geos YouTube channel, and we can do the same if Plan for All. So we are on the hour. Welcome everybody to this webinar about the Prague Inspire Hackathon. My name is Bente Liljaby. I'm one of the co-organizers of this hackathon. And very briefly about myself, I have been working with Earth observations and data management for almost a couple of decades now. I am a member of the Plan for All. I also have another hat on me, namely the Next Geos project hat. And I am also a member of the program board of GEO, the group of Earth observations. And we are very, very interested in having use of Earth observations. So today we have 4 bullet points on the agenda, but before I remind you about the agenda, I would like to introduce the presenters. So first, we have Karol Szarwat, the senior here. Karol, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, my name is Karol Szarwat. I am from Czech Republic. My background is Earth observation, GI, and other. I am working a lot for agriculture, environment, transport. I am one from the founder of Plan for All, and although I am here as a representative of more projects, Data Bio, Next Geos, Polyvisu, EUXDAT, etc., etc.
Yes, very active indeed, Karol. And he will be presenting our motivation, the history, and more introduction to the Prague Inspire Hackathon. And then we have another Karol with us, Karol Jetliga. Can you introduce yourself as well?
Yes. Hello to all of you. My name is Karol Jedlička, and I work as a research fellow at the Department of Geomatics at the University of West Bohemia, which is located in Pilsen in Czech Republic as well. And my field of studies and research topics are related to geographic information science, and I specialize to multidimensional data modeling, working with 3-dimensional GIS and with temporal data as well. And I work in a lot of, not as much as, but in some European projects, as Karol mentioned as well, namely Data Bio, EUXDAT, Polyvisu, and this is how we connect our research with the university research. So we do there some research in these projects, and we are, as the university, we are also co-founders of the Plan for All Association.
Thank you very much. And we will hear more about your experiences with participating in hackathons later on. Now, before we go on, I would like to do some housekeeping. So this webinar is, like it says, inspiring you to become a participant in the Prague Inspire Hackathon. We foresee that we use between 30 to 40 minutes approximately on this webinar. And we will try to include your questions in between the presentations. So if you have a question, you can write them in the chat. I will try to follow on and see if pick up some of the questions. We might also invite you into the room if you would like to forth dialogue with us, special topics. So don't be shy. Use the chat So we can perhaps we can ask you to test it already, by the way, by saying hi or where you come from. Write that in the chat box so we see that the chat box is alive. That would be great. So we have a program. You will be introduced first to the motivation why we are organizing these hackathons. And then we will tell you a little bit about the history. We already have a history of the Inspire hackathons. And finally, we will introduce this specific Prague Inspire hackathon to you. And of course, we will hear about the experiences that Karel Jedlicka has had towards the end. But don't be shy. We really want to hear from you. We want to have a dialogue with you. So don't be shy. Write in the chat box and tell us where you're from to start with, just to liven up it up a little bit. Then I think, Karel, you can introduce us to the motivation why we are organizing these hackathons. The floor is yours.
Okay, I hope that I am opening right window. Yes, seems that yes. Okay, so the name of...
We don't... yeah, okay. We are waiting for your screen. Now we see it. Go ahead.
Okay, so the title of the hackathon this time, Prague Hackathon, is moving big and open data and open source into praxis. And as was mentioned, it is the part of so-called Inspire Hack. What is Inspire Hackathon or Inspire Hack? It is not one event. It is a process. It is a process which started some 2 years or 2.5 years ago, when we decided about first Inspire Hack, and we are developing the ideas and we are extending the ideas about Inspire Hack. And now I will shortly tell you what is our idea. So the first is that we are trying to making open data policy to work. Yes, that there is a lot of initiatives, but what is important that really will be something what will work and where people can use the open data for their purposes. Inspire Hack is a playground, and we are not focused so much on students or startups. They are not excluded, but we decided that we need some playground for experts, for people from projects to meet together, to be able to transfer results from one project to other, to guarantee some sustainability of the data, to see that there are some overlaps or gaps between the project, and that this experiences could be shared. So this is really more focused on the expert, but the expert could be any age. You can see the old people like I am, and on our hackathon will be also very young guys. We would like to support open innovation, open science, and we are starting in Europe, but our goal is not to stay only in Europe, but we would like to do this internationally. We would like to invite people from other part of the work with us and extend it our concept, and also bring new data, new result into our life and work together. We are trying to connect people of all ages and different nations and organizations to work on implementation of open data policies. Focus is on open and now also big data integration, and a lot of this is coming from till now from EU funded project, but we don't want to be limited on this. We would like to also include other initiatives, and anybody is invited to join us to bring their data, to bring their tools, and to start work and extend it the Inspire Hack concept into other places. And of course, focus is on capacity building and education, because it's important that people will know more about open data. It is very good that we have open data portals, etc. But usually this is something what is not valuable for final user, and we need to have their strong community of developers, of the people who are able to bring all this data into the life, into the application, which could help to form policy, but which could also help to make business. So we are using Inspire as platform. We start on the Inspire conferences and also on Inspire specifications. But now it is not only related to the Inspire. Of course, on one side we are very closely collaborate with Copernicus and GEOS, and as now you can see, the Inspire hacks are not only organized on Inspire conferences, but we are organizing a number of satellite hackathons around Europe, and I hope that future also outside of Europe. And of course, we plan every year to organize a big event on Inspire conference. And,
Karol, can I interrupt you a little bit, because it may be not clear to everybody what Inspire conference and the Inspire directive is. So can you say a few words about that?
Yes, in Europe we have a directive about geospatial data, and this directive is called Inspire. This directive came to the force in 2007, and now is implementation period where different technical specifications are introduced, and countries are transforming metadata and data according to the specification. And to help to the people to do this, every year is organized European Inspire conference, where the experts from different organizations, public, private, research, are coming together. And now we use this platform as the way for our hackathon, and we start to come together and using supporting this Inspire specification with the development. So important is because open data are good, but important is data interoperability, and Inspire is mainly about data interoperability. And of course, the specification which are here are based on OGC and other standard, and now this standard are used very often not only in Inspire but also in Copernicus, and some standards are used also in GEOS. So this is shortly about motivation of why we are organizing this Inspire hackathons. And really the goal is to put people together and to work together to build this vision of or transfer this vision of open data into the praxis.
Yes. So thank you. Can you share, go out of your screen share, Karol? Yeah. So we can ask Karol Jr. here about his experience. Now you described already a little bit that we have had several Inspire hackathons, and Karol, you have been participating in at least several. Can you tell us about your experience?
Well, I guess I'm here for speaking about the personal experience with hackathons. In the contrary, what Karol just was mentioning. Well, my very first hackathon was actually in Riga 2014. It wasn't even Inspire hackathon, but we started there with something, some experiment related to transportation and traffic modeling. And we had an idea, and we want to somehow make a prototype of the idea and see if it works. So we then were able to connect to people with which were working with data visualization, data modeling, and traffic engineers. So we put a small group together and we prepared a prototype. And actually, that prototype was in 3 years developed in an application which is now used by a city of Pilsen. So this experience led me to see that it's very useful when you have an idea and you would like to test it. You would like to see different points of view to your idea. So you can go to the hackathon and work on it with the people with different perspective, and you can see the if it sometimes it happens in interesting result in the meanwhile. I mean immediately. Sometimes it pop up in the meanwhile in 2 or 3 years. It doesn't matter, but it's a way how to rapidly see the reactions to your project. So it was my first hackathon, and then when we started another project, the data bio project, then we felt that it would be nice to do the same approach. So we prepared actually there was even more time because the Inspire Hack was about having 2 months for preparation and then 1 day for present the results. So it was kind of a remote hackathon. And then we prepared to be honest, the first month was about gathering the team, which was from different countries. And then the other month we were able to prepare some solution which was related to 3D modeling and 3D visualization of some farm related data, which came actually from Earth observation. It was about yield potential to talk about the application thematically. But again, we prepared a prototype, let's say some kind of a mock-up. I would say better mock-up, something which is already working. But we still know that some components are not developed. So this is an example we can show to our partners and to work on the prototype further. And it's actually the intention to go to Prague Hack and to continue on this and build upon the project we prepared, or to the prototype we prepared during the Inspire Hack.
Yeah. So what you say is that what I heard, at least seeing results very rapidly was one of your motivations for being, attending hackathons. Carol will tell us more about the history of hackathon on the Inspire hackathons now. But before you start and prepare for that, Carol Senior, can I ask the audience to write in the chat box if you have had experiences with hackathons yourself in one form or another? That would be interesting to hear. So write yes or no in the chat box. Yes, I have attended a hackathon. No, I haven't the experience with a hackathon yet. So Carol Senior, there's a history of the Inspire hackathons. So maybe you will inform us more about that history now.
Okay. Do you see my presentation?
It's coming up. Yes, we see it.
Okay. The first Inspire Hack was in 2016 in Barcelona. But as Karel already mentioned, before the first Inspire Hack, we already organized a number of similar events. One was in Riga, one was, for example, in Patras. And we learn with different communities how to organize. And this approximately 2 years ago, we decided, okay, idea of hack could be good also for Inspire community, and we start with this first Inspire hackathon, which we organized during the conference in Barcelona. And in reality, hackathon ran during all of this conference, and people part of the people were directly on the conference, but some people work also remotely on the development. You can see here non-formal work during the hackathon, and some people who start at the first round of this hackathon, and we start with the first idea. This first hackathon was really focused to do the things in a short time on one place. For second hackathon, as Karel already mentioned, we changed a little strategy, and for Inspire Hack, which was again on the Inspire conference in Kel, we start work 2 months before the conference, and the team works remotely, and the Inspire conference was mainly used for presentation of result. So we are trying different type of models, because it's good to learn, and also sometimes the change strategy could help to the team. The inside meetings are more for some rapid ideas. These hackathons, which are remotely, could lead to more already sustainable result. So Karel mentioned the presentation, the solution which he done during this hackathon. It was this 3D visualization of open land use data, smart point of interest, and other. And I think that now this solution is moving almost to the product. There were also other very interesting things, focus on combining link open data and open land use. There are 2 data sets which was developed in previous project, and the ideas of hackathon is support reuse of this data which was developed, and to guarantee the sustainability, and transferring this data into so-called RDF model, which is used for link open data, bring new possibilities of application and new possibilities of data. And the team was again international, and the team was led mainly by people from Poland, and I think that it was also very interesting things. We had 10 prototypes. I cannot speak about all these prototypes, but I would like to mention also one more, and it was focused on design and develop some fast mockup application for publishing information about local agriculture producers. So you can see that the ideas are different, and this is what really we would like to do, is to use some data and tool in very different contexts, and to thinking how such solution could be used, and eventually in the future how this could lead to some commercial products. And there are pictures from first satellite hackathon. It was organized 1 week after Inspire Hack in Pilsner, and you can see that the hack is in some way mixture of work with mixture of pleasure. Yes, that it is not only to do something, but also to meet people, to spend good time with the people, because I think that this is also important for long time sustainability, that people will spend some good time together and have chance to discuss more non-formally, and to have the chances become friends and work in the future more together. And this is shortly about the history, and now we can again interrupt. Sorry.
Yep.
And
because now we are approaching that point where we are introducing the Prague Inspire Hackathon. I'd like to at least add that one of the things that we have seen happening in the Inspire Hackathons thus far is that we have succeeded in combining results from different projects that has been funded, particularly in the by the European Union, either in Horizon 2020 or in other funding mechanisms, and the idea, like just to underline what Carol said, is to make these results from the projects, which have a start and an end, to make them work. Sometimes it's just the last mile, a little bit of work that is necessary before you can actually implement it and make it operational. That's one component. Another component is, like you saw from the examples that Carol showed, that there are plenty of room for creativity to combine it in new ways, the results and the resources that has been made available through the previous work. So yes, I think we already mentioned that the last Inspire Hackathon, 2017, in the conference in Kiel, was won by the team of Karel Jedlicka. And we will hear more about that particular experience, Karel, after the introduction to the Prague, because I think because then we will see an example. You will tell us an example of how the continuity from a former Inspire hack can be transferred to the new Inspire hack, even the satellite hacks. Anything else you want to add before we start to introduce you to the Prague Inspire Hackathon? Nope. I think you can go ahead, Karel, and continue the presentation. Let's go for the Prague Inspire Hackathon.
Okay.
We have plenty of resources. Yes. It's coming.
Do you see my?
We see it now.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will move to the Prague Hackathon, which in some way is combination of both approaches, to prepare something before hack and then, but also to make the development during the hackathon. So it is between the first and second Inspire hacks. And the focus will be not only on open data, but also on big data and also on open sources. And the main areas are agriculture, planning, biodiversity, climate changes, water, energy, transport, logistic. And as we mentioned, we would like to have the meeting where professionals and project teams will be able to meet with the students and freelancer. This is also why we are organizing this on the university, to make this easy. And hack will be 23rd and 24th of January. And we would like invite any from you to come and join us in the Prague, eventually work also remotely, because you can join the team and agree with the team and work also remotely with this team who are already formed or will be formed. And now I will try to explain you how all will be organized. So the target is on mainly on Earth observation, sensors data, VGI data, GNSS technology, and link open data. But of course, it is not limitation. If there will be some other big data, it could be also included into the hackathon. And why we are doing this? That there is access to the data, but till now the usage of the data is not in the best way, and we believe that both public and private sector could profit from this data, and hack is some way how we can help to the people with the usage of this data. And for people from local community, I had about this presentation this year on the Precision Farming Congress. Normal people like farmers, forest owners, citizens or tourists, they cannot directly profit from open data because the data are not something what they can directly use. They need to derive the knowledge or wisdom from this data, and this is the task for the developers, for the people, and there is also the space to for the business, for project, and this is why we are trying to put people together to be able to transform open and big data into the wisdom. So Prague Inspire Hack is meeting place for professionals, for regional and national team. It is for students, freelance, and also eventually for the users. We hope that we will be able to invite also some users on the hackathon who can form their needs. And of course, our goal is also to start to speak more and more with potential investors and to help to move different scientific results, scientific data, product into the practice. So if you would like to participate, here is the address, and on the address you can register yourself as a person interested to participate on hackathon. So this is the first step, that you will then receive information and people also will be able to contact you. Second important thing is collaborative space. Here is the link to the collaborative space, and if you will go on this collaborative space, you have two possibilities. You can see already ideas which are prepared for the hackathon, and if you are interested about some team what is already in the hack, you can put your name and contact to the team, and you will be contacted by team leader, and he will discuss with you how you can contribute, how you can work on their projects. Second possibility is that you will directly define your project. So you will put the name of your project, eventually members, and you will put the project idea. And again, other people has the chance to join your team and to start work with you. You can thinking, okay, it is difficult for the people to see what is there. There will come not many people to this space, but to help you, we will distribute your ideas. Yes, the ideas are then transferred into the Plan for All portal, and maybe also on other places, and from Plan for All portal, these ideas are shared in social media. You can see information about these ideas on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So if you will put some idea and look for some collaborators, this idea will be distributed among a large group of people, and you can find some collaborators not only for this concrete hack, but maybe that you will meet people who will work with you on this idea also later. Here is about the program. So the registration is possible till 22nd of January, till last day, and 23rd we will organize hackathon, and again people who came with the idea will have the time for short pitches to attract some people who are not already the part of the team. So there will be 5-minute pitches to attract the people, and then will be some time for team building, and after this will start hacking. The hacking will continue till 6 o'clock. In the evening, you will have free time to meet with the partners to go to the pub. And the second day, hacking will continue till 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock will be presentation of the result of the team, and then will be time for jury, and jury will awarded the best application, and after this will be the final ceremony with the glass of the wine. This hack will be not only things which will run, but we will organize also some workshop. In this moment, there are already 2 workshops. They will come other, and again about workshop, you will receive the information on Plan for All web pages and media. The first workshop will be focused on Horizon 2020. This workshop will be led directly by me, and the purpose of this workshop is eventually to help to the people to continue with the idea in larger scale, and to know about potential calls where some ideas could be used, and also to meet with the people and to start discuss some possibility to cooperate on some of the project. Second day is planned other workshop, much more metadata on the platform, showing metadata without metadata platform, and also about GeoDCAT. If you are a little expert in metadata, you can know that GeoDCAT is some new recommendation or standard for metadata, which is now discussed, and this is something what is used and tested now in NextGeos project, Data Bio project, and others. So we decided to put some such technical workshop to a little explain to the people movement in this direction. As it was mentioned, we have also some award. One is student award, which is mainly organized by Plan for All, and it is focused on usage, the technology or data coming from our previous project, from the partners of Plan for All. Second award is Prague Inspired Hack Award, and it will be the main award, and we will prepare the publicity for the winning team, and the decision will be on the combination compliant with Inspire, combination of Inspire and other data, and also what could be potential benefit from this data. And there is one more award which will be focused on presentation based on Earth observation. So this is about award. I hope that I will see many from you in Prague. This is not last webinar. We will organize minimally one more. So this is all from my presentation, and I will switch on my presentation mode.
Thank you so much, Karol. I have posted, you posted several links. For those of you who didn't notice, Karol posted, Karol Jr. posted a link to the registration page. And if you want to stay abreast and stay tuned to the information we send, we post that also on the Facebook event page that I sent you in the chat box right now. So you can find the information there. So you can follow up on what Karol said. And of course, we will post this webinar on social media. We will put it out on YouTube, both first on the NextGeos webpage, and then perhaps other places as well. So in social media, so you will be able to see it. If you have registered for this webinar, you will get it in your email directly. so you shouldn't worry about it then. Now, we have, I don't see that there are any questions yet, but I would like to remind you that you can ask us questions now. If you, based on what you have heard so far, if you have any questions about how to participate, and so on. We will talk more about, just saying that, we will talk more about the specific resources that Carol briefly mentioned next Friday, Friday the 12th at the 3 o'clock Central European time. But now, Carol Jr., you participated and you were leading the winning team on the main Inspire hackathon in 2017. And I assume that you are going to continue the work. Will you explain to us what your plans are and the link between the Inspire Hackathon and the Prague Inspire Hackathon for us?
Well, Bente, I have sad news for you. I decided not to share my knowledge because the others are my competitors, so sorry. Seriously. Okay, we actually have something in our hands, which is the application which combines different data sources, and we visualize them in perspective view. Let's say it in a 3D environment. We now have data. We can display rasters. We can display vector data. I mean, regular GIS data. And our next intention is to focus on display true 3D objects in the same application, and to combine it with the data from RDF or from linked data sources. So this is the vision we have for the hackathon on behalf of typical GIS data. And we would like to even combine the data with the meteorological data, so we can get the temporal dimension into the solution. And we would like to play with the API, which is going to be offered for hackathon participants by MeteoBlue company, a company which is participating in EUSDAT project. So this is how we would like to work during the Prague hackathon. But maybe in more general, I would like to comment what Carol just mentioned. I think that for successful participation on the hackathon, it's really important to come prepared. So it means to pick in between these two options. First is to join a team or to set up your own team, but do this in advance of the hackathon, because you saw that there is a relatively short time for actual hacking. So I think that if the team comes prepared, it saves majority of the time for the actual work. And then it is important during the hack to stay focused on the idea, and even maybe prepare less, but to present it clearly at the end, than to prepare a lot of ways which are possible to go in the future. But if you do it as a mess at the end, so no one is able to understand it. You saw it that there is just an hour for a presentation of all the teams. So probably the team will have, I don't know, 10 minutes to present or maybe less. So it's extremely important, I think.
So what you say is that the team should make sure to present the results very briefly, but also ideas that resulted from the work that they couldn't actually implement, but that you will bring further on. Yep. Is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah. So this is a part of the continuity strategy then, that we get some results on. It's sort of, so for me at least, a hackathon is like you put your sleeves up and you do like intense work, either if it's for several months, or it's not several months, but for a few weeks, say, leading up to the major event, which is a couple of days. where you do the even more intense work. So it's a way of saying, I'm doing this work, I'm putting up my sleeves and I'm doing this work. And that's one way of actually having things done. We know this. It's a human thing. And so what you are saying is that, for me at least, for the Inspire Hackathon, we have focused on the continuity. And one way of securing that is that the results, when we are there at the very end of this hackathon, you present the results, but you also present the future challenges that needs to be worked on. And then so your mind is starting to work already, right?
Yeah, it needs to be clearly defined what was done and what is going to be done in the future. So my point was, even do not spend much time on the things which could be done in the future. Just mention it as a part of a discussion or a future work, and focus on the one thing, one clear use case you can demonstrate at the end of the hackathon, and then you can have the others as well, but to
Later.
stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused is a message you want us to convey, right? So I just want to give a shout out to Tawhid. He's a young student who is attending here. He plans to go into GIS, and you are so welcome into this community. And you think you are absolutely right. Being participating in a hackathon like that, this will give you a kickstart into this field. Yes, I think, well, we have spent 45 minutes, so I think we are basically done for today. And I want to mention that we have a new webinar already on next Friday. And that's when we will go into more detail of the resources that we are making available or facilitating. They are available because we are using open source and open data, but being open doesn't necessarily mean it's easy to find. And we will help you to find these resources, and we will talk more about that on Friday. So please reassigned to this webinar. You will find a link for the next webinar on the Facebook page, and we are tweeting it on NextGeos on and other social media outlets. So stay tuned. And yeah, if you have questions in between, write us a message. I think you can still write in the chat box even after we close the live room. So please do that, and we will be able to read it. So with that, Carol, do you have a final word for us before we say a good weekend?
I hope that we will meet in Prague, and in any case, we are also looking for the people who are ready to join our community and help us to prepare more such events, because our group is limited. It means also limited human resources, and we are able to share our experiences and to grow our community. So I would like to invite you to join our community and eventually join Plan for All association, who is, we can say, main organizer of these events.
Yes, absolutely. Carol Jr.?
Well, I would react to Tawhid Hossein. Sorry if I don't say your name correctly, but I think that the possibility to combine GIS and remote sensing and Earth observation knowledge, to combine these knowledge together, is a current task of GIS and the geosciences now. And this is why I really like that this hackathon and the hackathons before, they combine these two approaches, because I feel that this is something which will take a huge part of research in next few years. So I think that you made the point. So I'm looking forward to meet to all of you.
Yes.
Webinar in Prague.
Yeah, Prague is perhaps one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I don't live in Prague. I come from Norway. I can say that. But if you cannot travel, I would like to emphasize that you can participate virtually in these teams. Of course, somebody from the team would have to go to Prague, which I think is a reward rather than a punishment. But you can participate in this hackathon remotely in a virtual room. But of course, coming to Prague is going to be the best, as Karel said. An important factor in succeeding here is to create good relationship with people of the same interest as you, and having fun at the same time. So that's the most efficient way of working, in my opinion, having some fun. So with that, thank you, Igor. I want to shout out for Igor as well. He's a disaster management representing that community, and you are so welcome. See you next Friday. We want, like Karel said, Senior said, we want to expand the topics. There is no limit. We have this list of resources, and we want to be creative using it. Okay.
In any case, for example, in the disaster management, floods is something what is extremely interesting for us, and what about we are working.
There you go. So welcome, okay. Igor. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. See you on next Friday and in Prague.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.